We are at round 3, which is in Naxos, Italy, I believe. We are going to go down the order, call our racers, and then have ourselves a good, fun main. So, Hunter King, if you're here, please join us. You've got 10 seconds. Hunter King did a 8.527. Next up, Gary Crowell, if you can hear us, please join us. Gary did a 8.531. Gary was 4 seconds behind Hunter. A few seconds behind him is Joshua Vigil with an 8.535. So with the top 3 out of the way, not joining, we're going to actually go to our TQ who will be able to make it. That is Brian Nisbet in Canada with a 7.508. He misses the 8-lap club by 8.7 seconds. So Brian, as you can see on my left side, has joined right here. Right after Brian, we're going to go grab Corey Tad with a 7.519. Corey is a little further back than Brian, so Corey, if you can hear me, please join us. He does. On the left side, you can see his name. We're going to take a quick trip to Florida and grab Mr. Steve Belogan with a 7.532. So Steve Belogan with a 7.532. Steve is joining us from Florida. Last week he had some technical problems with his radio. We did confirm he did change his radio battery, so look for him fighting for the top 3 today. From Florida, we go to Texas, meet up with Mr. Anthony Chapman, 7.534. That's Anthony Chapman joining us from Corpus Christi. From Texas, we go to Missouri and meet Mr. Brad Hefner with a 7.538. So Anthony Chapman representing Team TLR, Brad representing Team Kyosho. 7.538. Brad will be joining us momentarily. After that, Stan, if you can hear me, please join. You've got 10 seconds. Stan is joining, or I don't think he's going to join, but he does when he does join. Joins us from Czech Republic. After Stan, we come back stateside and meet Mr. Justin Fowell with a 6.545. 6.545 from Justin Fowell out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. And after Justin, we're going to ask for Andreas or Mr. Randas, either or. I'm not making those names up, I promise. They're on screen. All right. Lastly, we're going to take one of our new racers, Alex. He's going to appear as Mr. Leo Lim. So, Alex, if you could please join us, that'd be great. All racers have joined. Actually, we're waiting on Alex. Give him 1 minute. So if you're just watching live with us, this is the Virtual RC Racing League, the league that started during COVID. I believe this is the biggest running league currently globally. We've got close to 20 nations, multiple states representing. Fortunately, COVID is easing up in some parts of the world and people are going back to real life racing, so our numbers are getting less and less, and that's to be expected. And while we shouldn't be happy about it, we are actually happy that people are getting back out there and racing, even if it came at the cost of our virtual league. But our league was always meant to just kind of fill in the gaps. Mr. Leo Lim is in the house. Justin, Brad, Anthony, Steve, Corey, and Brian are all here. All 7 racers are here. Chad Helvey said, "What's up, fellas? Best league on VRC." Chad Helvey, we miss you. Chad was one of our racers. He joined us, learned a lot, got really good with it. Schedules just have not been able to mesh lately, unfortunately. But yeah, Chad, come race with us. We're racing every Wednesday whenever you're free. All right, drivers, this is your chance to ask for a 1-minute call. All right, everyone seems to be doing good. No bathroom breaks needed. This is a 10-minute main. I'm going to hit start race. In about 30 seconds, we're going to get to see some good racing. These are 10-minute mains using your own radio, whether that's a Futaba or a Sanwa or a FlySky or a Traxxas, whatever radio you prefer, as long as it can connect to a USB with its own receiver, it can work with us. In about 5 seconds, I'm going to get quiet so we can see the start. Ooh, Anthony Chapman looked like a jump start, but he managed to make a mistake going into the turn. Let's see if the system docks him. Brian getting a clean start to the party. He is bringing Steve Logan with him, so Anthony Chapman, Corey Tad both going a little backwards. Brad moving up one spot, making a mistake then. Justin Fowell having a really good start. I just jinxed him there. Alex having a good start, currently all the way up to third. Early on, lots of changes. Steve Belogan now leading the way as Brian gets stuck on the pipe. The pipe on this track is not easy to maneuver. Once you get caught, it is a nightmare. So after lap one, Steve Belogan going all the way to first. Hopefully no radio issues for him. Corey Tad coming in second. Alex, big winner of the start, all the way from dead last to third. He is currently tracing down Corey Tad. That's the blue buggy he's driving. He's got more power for sure as he maneuvers his way past Corey. Corey does ascend it and lands on the wrong side of the track. Marshall takes a really long time to put him by the chair. That's going to let two positions go by. So Steve Logan currently in the lead, Corey Tad in second. I believe Alex is in third. Anthony Chapman having a great battle, currently in fourth. Brian is trying to make up some ground right now, but oh, as soon as I said his name, he made a mistake, getting stuck on the pipe again. Commentator's curse is very much alive, even in virtual RC racing. Justin Fowell making a massive mistake as soon as I mentioned his name. We're going to talk about some lap times around the 2-minute marker, 6-minute marker, and 8-minute marker. So we are at the 2-minute marker. Everybody's lap times are normally on the slower side at this point, but let's see if anybody's in the 30s yet. We will start with Mr. Fowell, 46.7 for him. Anthony Chapman with a 45.0. Brad with a 42.3. Brian with a 38. So Brian's in the 38s already. 38.5 from Brian actually. Leo or Alex with a 40.8. Corey Tad with a 40.0. And Steve Logan with a 41. So only one person in the 30-second club right now. That is Brian. But unfortunately, his consistency has him down in fourth place. So if he can continue to run 38s, he should have no problem getting back up to first. Let's see if we can find a good close battle and stick with that. As of right now, we are watching Anthony Chapman's TLR XE Elite being chased down by Brad Hefner's Kyosho MP10E, the 2S pack buggy. Who looks like Brian making another mistake. Brian keeps on making mistakes, but he's got some raw speed going for him. No one is within even a second of his fast lap as of right now. So Anthony Chapman in third. Ooh, nice pass by Brian on the inside, kind of just stuffing Anthony. Anthony returning the favor through the S's. Brad and Corey are not too far back. The middle four are honestly separated by less than half a second, so we're going to stick with this battle a little longer. So to our right, now rotate to the left. Two buggies, that is Anthony Chapman, Brian Nesbitt, Brad Hefner, and Corey Tad, all four trying to chase down the second spot. That is Alex, who gets stuck on the pipe, and the entire three of the four buggies pass him going into turn one at 78.9 kilometers per hour. Gearing was very, very critical on this track. Hopefully they all played with it. Somebody who did not play with gearing and doesn't need to is Mr. Steve Logan, and he has a 6-second lead currently. Fast lap of 41.2, taking advantage of the clear track, just keeping it nice, smooth, and consistent. Corey, Tad, Leo, or Alex, Anthony Chapman, Brian, and Brad all having a mid-pack battle for second spot. Justin Fowell manages to improve his lap times into the 44s right now. Steve Logan, another 41, 41-1 for him. If he can keep running 41s and everyone else keeps on making mistakes, this is going to be pretty easy for Steve to walk away with. We are approaching the halfway point, the point where if there's any technical issues, we will address them before that. Once we're past 5 minutes, there's no such thing as a restart. We haven't had a technical issue in a while, I guess, since people have been going back to real life racing. The servers, the virtual servers, have been doing pretty good with the current load. So, almost 5 minutes on the clock. As of right now, Corey Tad is actually gaining on Steve Logan slowly. Ooh, spoke too soon. Jinxed him. He makes a mistake, and three people make the pass on him. So now Brian Nisbet, the only person in the 30-second club, running another 38.9 on that last lap. It's up to him to chase down Steve Logan. With him comes Alex. Alex is new racing with us and also just managed to run a 38.8. So now there's two guys in the 30-second cup. Not sure what's happening with that Marshall, but three cars trapped in one section, all taking a really long time. This is going to let Anthony Chapman and Brad close the gap on the guys in front. Oh, Justin Fowell with a wreck there. He was doing good playing back marker, but unfortunately the turf got him right there. He did manage to get into the 42s, but followed it with a 58. Meanwhile, Steve Belogan kind of putting I guess shifting into second gear, dipping from 41s to 40s now, trying to get away from everyone. He is 6 seconds clear of second place, who is currently on his back. He's having a great battle though with Brian and Alex. So you're watching the middle pack right now, mid pack battling it out. That'd be Alex, Corey, Brian. Nobody wants to get away. They're all separated by 0.28 seconds apart. Now Alex takes his turn to be second and chase down. So Brian, Corey, and Alex, all three have taken turns trying to chase down Steve, but in their chase they keep making mistakes. Chad Chastain said LQ in the house. Alrighty, so it looks like Steve Belogan currently sitting in first, Alex in second with a 38.8, Brian with a 38.5, Corey Tad with a 39.7, Brad with a 40.7, Anthony Chapman with a 40.9, and Justin Fowell with a 42.4. Chad, I bet you're anxiously waiting for your Techno ET48 2.0, but it looks like you're going to be waiting 2 more weeks. Steve Logan, meanwhile, with 7 minutes on the clock, 40.22, his fastest. Lots of racing still to go. Everyone should be able to get 4 or 5 more laps in. Alex, unfortunately, is not able to put an impression on Steve as he is now 9 seconds behind him. Chad with the sad face. I don't know what to tell you, buddy. We've got your kit ordered from 2 different sources. As soon as it comes in, we'll get busy on the build. It's sort of a good thing to actually skip the first batch, knowing Techno. Actually, knowing every single brand. Alright, so Steve currently 10 seconds clear of Alex. Alex 2 seconds clear of Corey. Corey 5 seconds clear of Brian. Brian 9 seconds clear of Brad. And Anthony Chapman 0.4 seconds. So we're going to stick with this battle right now. You are watching the TLR XC battle it out with the Kyosho MP10E. Kyosho's got the solid, the TLR's got the solid blue color being driven by Anthony Chapman. He runs wide there. Kyosho making the pass on the inside. Good battles had between both guys. Both of these guys have been doing RC racing for over 20 years. I'm not sure what Anthony Chapman did there. He kind of looked like he just sent it, got caught on the pipe, cartwheeled. That's going to give Brad some breathing room. Both of these guys I was mentioning earlier have been racing for over 20 plus years. It may actually even be 25 plus years. So they know RC well, and 8 scale is their primary choice. So yeah, believe it or not, I think Anthony Chapman's only played with TLRs in terms of owning and building and enjoying racing them. I'm not
Oh
sure
my
about Brad.
God.
I'm not sure about Brad, but Brad has recently been more involved with the Kyosho. You heard "Oh My God" by Corey Tad as he makes a mistake, letting Brian Nesbitt get in front of him. Right before that "Oh My God" came a 39.5 was ran by Corey Tad. So Corey getting in the groove, running his personal best on lap 11. Then we had a "Oh My God" moment where it was a 45-second lap, so 6 seconds. The difference between his lap 11 and 12, which is going to let Brian get away. Steve Belogan, though, having an easy race so far. 40.222. 40.222 is his fast lap. On lap 8, he is just on cruise mode, only going as fast as he need to. The real battle switch swap is happening between Brian and Corey for second. Alex went backwards a little. Brad and Anthony having a good battle in the middle. Justin Fowell finding some good laps, rhythms, 42s, 44s, but then unfortunately follows them up with mid 50-second laps. Race has expired, time has expired, so now it is just a matter of all the racers coming in before we can talk lap times and do some interviews. If you're watching us and want to know how to join us, drop a comment. We'll get some help. We'll get you in our Discord group. We'll get you the game. We even have the adapters. So we're here to welcome you guys. Those that unfortunately do not have tracks that are open near you, you can come race with us on Wednesdays. We leave qualifying open the entire week. All drivers have finished. They should be checking in.
Nice run, Brian.
Corey at the end, that was crazy.
Alrighty, so it looks like our leaders, I'll call them the leaders, the top four guys, finished on lap 14. The mid pack in the back finished on lap 13. Justin Folwell bringing the rear with 12 laps, 10:34 his fast lap, or I'm sorry, his session. Fast lap wise, Justin had a 42.4. Anthony Chapman and Brad could not be separated, both 40s for them. Leo is Alex, so Alex, Corey, and Brian, all three in the 38-second club. But check this out, the guy that came first, 40.2. So technically his best lap puts him with 5th and 6th, but his consistency brings him a first place. Brian actually has a better consistency, so I'm not sure how that worked out to be with Brian having a better consistent and a best lap. But yep, that's definitely a first lap thing. All right, so let's go to Parc Ferme and interview our top three. Mr. Corey Tad, do you have a hot mic?
I believe so.
Awesome.
if you heard me yelling.
Yeah, that's absolutely. So, Corey, tell us where you're from, what the nearest track to you is, and what's the major class that races there.
So I'm from Utah. I haven't raced since I've moved in the year and a half because COVID. And so I raced at IRCR forever and ever 10th scale.
Okay. And what's the big class that if you showed up at a club race, it's always guaranteed to have multiple mains?
Two-wheel drive stock there. It's the April Fool's Classic is what happens there. It's a big race there. But yeah, two-wheel drive buggy stock is 6-7 heats sometimes.
Wow, that's crazy. Now talk to us a little bit about the race. How did the race go? And I want you to kind of mention what happened there at the end between your oh my god moment and Brian making the pass on you.
So like I was saying before the race, that's as soon as I start getting comfortable on that little section, I just pile drive that little pipe that comes out, and that's what I did. And then I made a mistake just immediately after.
Ah.
Not a good race. Right before I was practicing, I was hitting 38s, dipped down into 37.9, I think. So not great.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for
Still
racing
fun.
with us.
Still lots of fun.
Good. That's what we do it for fun. Congratulations on your third place finish. Let's go to our second place finisher, Mr. Brian Nesbitt, joining us all the way from Canada. Brian, do you have a hot mic?
I do. How's it going, Mo?
It's going very good, sir. So tell us a little bit about where you're from, what's the nearest track, and what's the biggest class. And I will set the tone by saying he's in Canada and that they're slowly going into their round 2 of shutdown. So while the track may not be operating to its full capacity right now, we would still like to give him a shout out. So Brian, tell us about him.
Yeah, so I'm from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Our local track here is called Electrosport RC. It's an outdoor track, but it's covered like a big tent kind of thing. So in the wintertime, it's cold. We tend to take like a couple months off, and we race mostly during the kind of warmer months. Although we did race, being Canadian, we raced through the winter. The first winter, it was like minus 30 degrees Celsius, and we'd still be out there racing, our hands frozen after 5 minutes. But the two major classes there are 110 scale. It's a 110 scale track, no weight scale on the track. So it's a clay indoor kind of outdoor feeling to it. But 110th, two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, mod, buggy. We don't have any stock classes. We don't really have enough racers to kind of break up into that much. So it's all just open mod.
Gotcha. What does a typical, I guess, club race look like in terms of entries?
Last season, kind of mid-season, we'd get people from, when numbers were lower and travel kind of stuff, we'd get people from like kind of closer big cities coming in. So, I mean, there's a couple of races. I think we got up to like 40, 45 kind of entries, but on a normal, like week in the middle of October. Our typical race night is Wednesday nights. It's every Wednesday, and then every kind of second or third weekend we would do a race. But typical Wednesdays, 25-ish.
Gotcha.
Everyone usually kind of has the 2 and 4-wheel drive buggies.
Awesome. Tell us about this race and your battle with Corey and how you were able to make the pass on him and why you struggled so much in the first 5 minutes where you could put down hot laps but kept on making mistakes.
I think I struggled in the first 5 and in the second 5. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I found in the warm up, the track, for whatever it's worth, the track felt different than it does, on the server versus like doing the qualifying. On the qualifying, it was like super grippy, but here it was much more loose in the corners and stuff. And I find with this track, like if you mess up one corner, like wherever you get marshaled, that kind of like if you don't keep getting all the corners right, it flows nice. But if you don't get them right, like you kind of mess that one up, it causes you to mess that one up, and it turns an okay lap into a really bad lap quickly. So yeah, I think Corey made a mistake on the second last lap. I was able to pass him on the back, and then I kind of knew I had one more lap left because I think there was 10 seconds to go, and I kind of took it a bit slow when he was catching me the whole race, and I think my buggy literally rolled across the finish line. Just like 0.2 seconds in front of him, but I wasn't able to catch Steve there. Too consistent and too many mistakes on my side for sure.
There you go. You summarized it well. You did get Corey by a few tenths, but unfortunately Steve was way ahead. Congratulations on your second spot. Let's go to Mr. Steve Logan all the way in Florida joining us. Steve, do you have a hot mic?
I believe it is.
Hey, so walk us through how you didn't even get into the 38s or 39s, yet you are our winner for tonight.
I think slower is always faster. I did have the big motor in the car though.
The 2650?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for this track, did you put that in? Because normally you drive with a 1900?
2050, but for this one I did go with the big motor.
Gotcha. Well, it definitely paid
dial
off.
It down a little bit. Yeah, on the straightaway it really paid off. But I mean,
Yeah.
I could have went quite a bit faster. I have a lot of problems with my hands. A lot of problems right now. I need to go see a doctor. Actually, I'm going to see a doctor, but arthritis, I guess. I'm pretty sure was what it is.
Gotcha. Well,
So,
congratulations
on.
on
Is always faster.
yeah, consistency definitely pays
Yeah,
off.
just be
Congratulations on
consistent.
your first place. Kind of tell us what part of Florida you're in and what's the nearest track.
This is Palm Beach County, and we're right here by the ocean, as I told you last week. On the there's a lot of tracks here. You got Coral Springs and Mills Pond is two of the closest ones, and then if you want to drive a little bit, a couple hours, hour and a half, there's quite a few tracks they have here in Florida, and it's all the clay, the Georgia clay tracks, and they're all there's 10 scale too, but I prefer the bigger tracks, the 8 scale stuff.
Right. Well, you are definitely blessed that you've got so many tracks to look into. Those of you that are going to watch this feed later on, all the tracks we mentioned during the interview, if you look at the comments section, Justin Fowell from Meatball Racing was nice enough to drop down links for each and every track that all our podium finishers mentioned. So go hit those links, show those tracks some love if you're within a few hours of them. Tell us the Virtual RC Racing League is where you heard about them, and hopefully we can continue supporting them. For those of you that are just joining in, you may have to rewind a little bit, watch the race from the start. It was an exciting race. In the end, it came down to who would finish second, and Brian got the best of Corey with a very nice oh my god moment. So we'll end it with that and see you guys next week when we race at Silver Dollar 2. Qualifying will be open at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. You have 50 tries to get in your best qualifier between today 8 p.m. and next week Wednesday at 6 p.m. where we shut down qualifying and go into